The words appeared quietly at first, shared through an interpreter's personal reflection rather than an official headline, yet they landed with an emotional weight that rippled instantly across the fandom. Sweetest Boba-Eyed Golden-Hearted Maknae. In a comeback era already overflowing with anticipation, those few words were enough to stop timelines mid-scroll. Fans knew immediately this was different. This was not a marketing phrase or a rehearsed compliment. It was a genuine human reaction to BTS's Jungkook, captured by someone who had stood just inches away from him in one of the most pressure-filled interview environments in global media. On February 5th, 2026, Haye Lee, the interpreter who worked closely with Jungkook during his recent Rolling Stone interviews across Korea, Japan, and the United Kingdom, shared a deeply personal account of her experience on Instagram. The post was calm, reflective, and unguarded, offering a rare behind-the-scenes glimpse into how Jungkook presents himself when cameras are rolling, microphones are live, and the world is listening. Lee explained that she intentionally avoided watching the photo shoot portion of the Rolling Stone sessions. Her reasoning was simple, but telling. She did not want Jungkook to feel watched, evaluated, or pressured in any way beyond what the interview already demanded. Instead, she waited backstage, keeping her focus on the responsibility she carried as the bridge between Jungkook's thoughts and a global audience. During the interview itself, she described consciously controlling her facial expressions and laughter during humorous moments, careful not to let her reactions interfere with the recording or distract from his words. What followed, however, is what truly moved fans. In closing her reflection, Lee described Jungkook not just as a global superstar, but as a person. She spoke about his gentle nature, his sincerity, and the warmth he radiated, even in a professional setting.
Hey Army! Quick pause before we keep going. If you're loving these BTS updates, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and join our family of global fans. That way, you'll never miss a single record-breaking moment. All right, let's jump back into the story.
She mentioned his visuals not in the usual idol language of perfection or distance, but with a softness that felt almost protective. That was when she described his eyes, large and expressive, paired with a heart that felt equally expansive. Within hours, screenshots of the post spread rapidly across X, Instagram, and fan communities worldwide. The phrase "boba eyes" quickly began trending alongside Jungkook's name, a term fans have long used affectionately to describe his wide, sparkling gaze. But this time, the nickname carried a new layer of validation. It wasn't just coming from fans, it came from someone who had worked beside him, who had no obligation to flatter, and who chose her words carefully. Fans reacted with an emotional intensity that reflected years of admiration built not only on Jungkook's talent, but on his character. Many expressed pride that even in high-profile international media settings, Jungkook remained grounded, polite, and deeply considerate of others. Others noted how often industry professionals who encounter him for the first time leave with the same impression: kindness first, stardom second. Comments poured in, calling him the most perfect person in the world, but the praise went beyond visuals. Fans highlighted how Jungkook consistently makes those around him feel comfortable, respected, and seen. The idea that he worried about an interpreter's comfort, just as she worried about his, only strengthened the image ARMY has long held of him as someone who leads with empathy. This moment arrived at a particularly meaningful time in Jungkook's career. Just weeks earlier, he had made history through a landmark collaboration with Rolling Stone. The project spanned multiple regions, including the UK, Korea, and Japan, with coordinated covers and digital editions released worldwide. With this achievement, Jungkook became the first K-pop soloist to appear on the cover of Rolling Stone UK and the first Korean solo act to front a shared international Rolling Stone cover campaign. In the interview published on January 3, 2026, Jungkook spoke openly about returning to public life after completing his mandatory military service. He reflected on how time away reshaped his understanding of health, routine, and balance. Rather than rushing back into the spotlight, he described learning to value consistency and mental clarity, emphasizing that growth now meant sustainability rather than speed. He also revisited the impact of his solo work, particularly the global success of Seven featuring Lotto and his album Golden. Jungkook shared that those projects helped him reconnect with the joy of performing and reminded him why he fell in love with music in the first place. Yet even as he spoke with pride about his solo journey, he repeatedly returned to one theme: his excitement to work as BTS again. That excitement is now shared worldwide as BTS prepares for their long-awaited full group return. Their upcoming album, ARIRANG, is scheduled for release on March 20th, 2026, marking their first complete group project since the 2022 anthology, Proof. The album represents more than new music. It symbolizes reunion, endurance, and the closing of a chapter defined by separation and service. According to Big Hit Music, ARIRANG was crafted through a deeply member-driven process. All 7 members actively participated in shaping its concept and sound, drawing from experiences accumulated during their time apart. The album will feature 14 tracks, each reflecting personal growth while reinforcing the unity that defines BTS as a group. Following the album's release, BTS will return to the stage with their first world tour in 4 years. Announced on January 13, 2026, the tour will span 82 shows across 34 cities throughout 2026 and 2027, beginning in South Korea on April 9th. Demand has already reached historic levels, underscoring the group's unmatched global pull. Netflix has also partnered with BTS for 2 major global projects tied to their return. The first, BTS The Comeback Live, ARIRANG, will take place on March 21st, 2026 at Gwanghwamun Square in Seoul, streaming live worldwide. The second, a documentary titled BTS The Return, will premiere on March 27th, following the members as they reunite and prepare for this new era. And in the middle of all this scale, history, and spectacle, a single description continues to echo across the fandom: Sweetest Boba-Eyed Golden-Hearted Maknae. It's a reminder that even as Jungkook stands at the center of global headlines, record-breaking achievements, and sold-out stadiums, what leaves the deepest impression is still who he is when the lights are off.